In this video, I will show you how to read P&IDs. In the next assignment, you will see that you will have a PDF containing this file. The first few sheets are informational sheets, like the front cover that gives us the information about the Tri-County Amine Treating Facility. Then we have about 5 sheets that are giving us just regular symbology and legends and everything that we need to know to be able to read all of these symbols in P&IDs. This is what a typical P&ID looks like. The next 2 sheets display plot plans, and then the rest of these sheets contain P&IDs. I will create a series of videos that will explain to you the information that is given in each one of these sheets, but I want to concentrate on the plot plans and the P&IDs in this one. The title block in here is just telling us that it is a plot plan. It gives us a drawing number. So for this plot plan, the drawing number is LF-0331-010. In this case, I would call it drawing number 10. With plot plans, we always have a north arrow, and I always try to locate that so that I can get my bearings. Notice that the north arrow here has 2 arrows. One of them that is vertical, that would be true north, and the other one is magnetic north. This right here is a county road. The entrance, the center line entrance road is here. That says E1 plus 50. Lines up with this line here, and that's E150. Here we have a grid system. Northern lines, notice that they go up in value as we move up on the map, and then the easting value goes up as we go to the right. This point right here is 0, 0, which is origin, and every distance is set off from that origin. So here, easting plus 50, that just means that it's 50 feet from the origin. E1 plus 00 means it's 100 feet from origin. This is 150, and so on. The same goes with northern lines. From here to there is 50 feet. From here to there is 100 feet. I will zoom in to show some of these rectangular shapes. Notice that some of these have letters like RG. This is a skid. I will explain skids in the next video. And these are all equipment that is in this facility. You will notice that we always locate these, especially the circular ones, by the center marks. The center line for all of these marks is located at northern line 210 feet from the origin. When you look at this, I want you to zoom in and just kind of get your bearings. You will see equipment because those are the biggest items in this facility. Sometimes you will see some lettering like EOC, for example. This is end of concrete here. So at the end of concrete, because all of these are typically installed on a concrete platform, and so a lot of that will also be depicted here. To the eastern side of the facility, you will see that we have this pipeline here, which is 12 inches, is a Brazos main line. And the Tri-County main water line is 12 inches going here, and the receiver is right there. The equipment that is closest to the eastern side of the facility is this one, SE 1107. And there's a question that asks for this, and you will have to let me know what SE is. Next, we have P&IDs. The rest of the sheets are P&IDs, and I will just give you a general explanation so that you can get your bearings through these. A P&ID is a diagram. It's not a drawing, it's a diagram. When we look at diagrams, we need to understand that first. We need to see the functionality of the elements that are included in the diagram. We need to know what is connected with what by a series of lines. It shows us several different elements that are not drawn true to size or shape necessarily, and they are not drawing any of these elements in the right location. So just because you see a TO 1102 here, right next to SE 1102, that does not mean that these two are right next to each other, even though they are connected. They could be in their vicinity, but that doesn't mean that they are. P&IDs display few elements. They display equipment, which are the bigger items on a sheet. They display lines, and these are just the pipelines that are going from one place to another. Then these bubbles all around, these are instruments. On the pipeline itself, you see valves, you will see reducers, very minimum fittings. You will not see elbows and T's. So for example, this line here, and it bends here to this point, that does not mean that it has a 90-degree L here. It just means that in order to display this in the drawing or in the diagram effectively, they decided to bring it down so that it shows how it's connected to this tank. Each one of these lines continues. Notice that on the left side you have a lot of arrowheads pointing towards or away from this sheet, and also that happens on the right side. So let's go there for a little bit. This line here is coming from this drawing LF-0331-103 and is designated as number 123 for the diagram only. This is not a number that will be on the line itself. But notice that this line here is coming from drawing 103. So I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to remember numbers 1, 2, and 3. It also tells us here that it's coming from glycol contactor, and this is the line number here, which is 1059. So I'm going to remember 123 to locate the arrowhead. I'm going to remember line 1059 because that's the actual pipeline, and then that it is coming from glycol contactor. So I'm going to go to sheet 103. Here is sheet 103. And the line that I'm looking for is 1, 2, 3. And the line that I'm looking for is 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to look at the left first and then the right. Okay, here it is. Notice that the arrowhead is pointing out. Okay, and inside the arrowhead, it tells us where it's going. And we just came from drawing 102. Notice that the line here is 1059. And then if I look at the actual piece of equipment, which is right here, then that tells me that this is TO 1107. TO 1107 is the glycol contactor. Over here it gives us information about that contactor. It says that is 48 inches outside diameter by 16 feet, seam to seam. So seam is right here to seam right there. 1440 PSIG at 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The manufacturer is National Tank Company. The serial number for it and the stamp number for it. Okay, so the information. Notice here that we have several different nozzles that are not used for the tank itself, but some of them are. This could be like site class or something like that to give us level information. Notice that the instruments that are attached to them are LG and LC. LC is level controller, LG is level gauge. So, and then this level controller is attached to another instrument, LCV. This is level control valve, and there's your control valve right there. That line here is a pneumatic line. You will learn about that in just a moment. And also note that there's a cloud around here. This is a revision cloud. A revision cloud is one that lets us know that either something changed or there's an error in the drawing or there's some sort of revision that has happened